Hey everyone, it's Gabriella here, and so I'm just tuning in for my monthly live stream, my dating and relating Q&A. And the question that we've come up with tonight that somebody asked about is, how do I ask for help without appearing needy? And I can really appreciate how a lot of us, hey Jilly, a lot of us we've been shamed a lot for being needy, and we've grown up in a society that's been overly masculine dominant that has really praised us for being self-sufficient, super independent, and really figuring things out for ourselves. And while it's a beautiful thing to be resourced, to be capable, to know our abilities, we need each other. And for so many of us, we don't know how to ask for help in a way that has us feeling connected to our sense of strength, feeling connected to a sense inside of us that it's okay, because a lot of us feel like we don't really deserve or we need permission to ask for help. So I'm here to do my monthly live stream on this. And I'm Gabriella Taylor, if we haven't met before. I see some of you here that I do know and love. I'm the founder of Extraordinary Love Transformational Coaching Programs for Women. And what I know firsthand in my life, I've been experiencing this one a lot, how the paradigm of giving and receiving is really challenged. Like, we live in this culture where in a lot of ways it's so much easier to give than it is to receive. And in my own home, I'm watching it right now. I have a family member that is in the process of dying. We don't know how much longer she'll be here with us, and she doesn't want anyone to know about it. She doesn't want nursing care to come in. She's passing. She's literally transforming her life experience into a death experience, and she doesn't want to ask for help about this. And it's been so challenging for me at times to watch this, and I deeply respect her. I've also been watching this in my mom recently went through a surgery, a very significant surgery, removing a tumor from her spine, where they had to cut into her spine and remove a tumor from her spinal cord. So it was a very tender, delicate, intricate, complex surgery, which has taken a really long time to heal from, and how hard it was for her to even ask for help to receive wheelchair assistance at the airport when I dropped her off at LAX yesterday. I'm witnessing it in my partner, who is witnessing his sister passing on, and how hard it is for him to ask for help with his work or with even from me. Like, we all have our ways of coping by tunneling in and thinking that we can figure it out ourselves. And the reality is we all need to ask for help at one point or another. Not one of us are immune from the frailties of life, and also the beauty in asking for help. So what I'm here to just share with you tonight is, why does it feel so much easier for so many of us to give than receive, right? Like, we live in a culture where it's prized, like in a lot of religious traditions, it's prized to be of service. We live in a culture where it's very prized to be the one that's the hero, that's showing up and giving. And while I'm hugely service oriented as well, if it's only a one-way street, we get in trouble. So what I found, especially in working with, humans in the way that I have with human egos for as many decades as I have had, I've identified that there are three common things that most likely get in the way of asking for help. Because the reality is we all have egos. We have a soul, we have an ego. We have our spiritual essence, we have our personality structure. However you want to call it, we all are walking along with two selves, our true self and our false self. And the thing about egos is that they typically like to think that they're in control. I do it all the time. I mean, you should see when people come to my house that I'm scared of them letting my kittens out because I've got coyotes that live in our yard, and I deeply control the gateways to my house so my kittens can't get out. So in one way or another, we all experience control, and it may be in big ways, it may be in little ways, but the reality is the ego typically likes to think that the more that we can stay in control, or the illusion of control, and act like we've got it together, that we'll feel better. And what I found that the three most common things are that get in the way of asking for help are pride for one, where we don't want to be seen as incapable, as unable, where we don't want to be seen as messy, where we don't want to be seen as lesser than. A lot of us have these judgments around what others think of us. So because of pride, and if I'm in an experience where I'm really needing help, but I'm in bad shape, and I don't want anyone to know about it, I'm going to not ask for help. So pride is one of the key things that really interrupts our natural ability to ask for help. And so just check this out and see where this fits for you. If there's ever a way that you've noticed that you're watching yourself sort of manage your self-image, and what I say by that is we all have these self-images where it's how I want you to think about me, and it's also how I like to think about myself in terms of the image that I present to the world and what I'm hoping that you're perceiving me as. And it's not always lined up with the reality of who we are. So pride comes in when we're trying to manage our self-image, and I'm trying to manage how you see me, and I want you to see me as strong, as capable, as confident, whatever it is. And that gets in the way of my actually needing help if I really, really am going through something. The second thing that interrupts our ability to ask for help is shame. A lot of us have deep-seated embarrassment for being seen as unable. If we're having a health issue and we're not able to go to the bathroom easily, or there's something going on where we can't tie our shoes easily, or there's something happening on the physical level where we feel ashamed about it. We're going through a financial challenge and we feel ashamed. We don't want people to know that we're having a hard time keeping up our car payments, or keeping up some things that we think we need to maintain in order to look a certain way. So shame, and especially in relationship, this is one where it can really get in the way, because if we feel fundamentally ashamed of having needs, having wants, asking for help, then it's going to always present a wedge between us and our loved one. So shame is the next thing that always gets in the way of asking for help. The third thing is mistrust. And this is what I find applies for most of us. There's a part of us that deeply mistrusts that if I need you, will you show up for me? So it feels a whole lot safer to not risk asking for help as a way to avoid or protect from feeling the pain. Hi, Jenny, welcome. So as a way to avoid or protect from feeling the very raw pain of somebody not actually being able to show up for us. I need help, I'm reaching out, I'm risking asking for help, and there's a part of me, if I mistrust that you're not able to help me, or you're going to make me wrong for needing help, or you're just going to abandon me in my state of need, that feels worse than shouldering it alone. So these three things, pride, shame, and mistrust, these are the common things that most of us westernized humans face that all get in the way of our natural ability to ask for help. And what I found, what this really does, what these patterns really do, and what's underneath these things, it's all ways that we're trying to protect ourselves from vulnerability. Because the truth is we receive in order to give, and we give in order to receive. And there is a natural vulnerability that is inherent to being alive. In any given moment, God, any one of us could have a stroke, could have an accident, could have something that happens that where the bottom of our life falls out. And there's something about our ego structure that is terrified about being out of control, dependent on others. And so we attempt to keep it all together, because there's ways that the egos are designed to protect us from really facing our mortality. And I'm watching this with my family member that I've mentioned, who's in the process of dying right now. There's a way that her ego structure doesn't want anyone to even know that her body, that she's dying, because she doesn't want people to think poorly of her. And so this just shows how deeply wound this is in a lot of our worlds. And in reality, if we are lopsided, if we are imbalanced, we are interrupting the flow of life. If we are prizing ourselves for being overly giving, overly generous, we're the ones that show up for everyone else, but we're not allowing anyone to show up for us. We're not asking for help. If we're experiencing pride, pride gets in the way, shame gets in the way, or mistrust gets in the way, we are interrupting the natural flow, the reciprocal flow of life. In a way, it's no different from the oak tree, giving of its leaves, to the earth in the winter. It's like releasing its leaves to the earth in the winter. It's giving to the earth to decompose, so that way the decomposed leaves can then nourish the soil, that the earth then may give the oak tree its nutrients that allow it to produce acorns. There is a beautiful circle of life that we are part of. And the more that we're able to open up, ask for help, and to really allow ourselves to be in the vulnerability of being seen when we feel most weak, most vulnerable, most messy, and still reach out. There's something that's so powerful in this, not only a way where it restores us to our sense of humanity and just our shared experiences here with all of the brothers and sisters of fellow humans that surround us, it also gives us an opportunity to let in more love. And that's really, at the end of the day, what we're here for. So the exercise that I give people when I'm working with them privately that are really struggling with receiving help is and just for you right now, whatever you're going through, I guarantee there's an area in your life where you need some support. Whatever it is. Maybe you need support with housekeeping. Maybe you need support with babysitting. Maybe you need support in your business. Maybe you need support letting go of some heartbreak and pain that you carry. Maybe you need support and help grieving. Maybe you need help with your physical health. Whatever it is, just by the simple measure of you being alive right now, I am guessing that you perhaps need a higher level of help than you've been giving yourself. And so just keeping that in mind, whatever that might be for you. Also now conjure up somebody that you love dearly. It could be a pet, it could be a child, it could be a best friend. Just imagine someone that you so deeply love unconditionally. For me, it's my kitties. And for using myself for an example, an area where I could really use some help in my life right now is I've been in a high-level caretaking mode. I have family members dying. I have family members recovering from surgery. We've been in evacuation mode several different times in the past 6 weeks. So I've been in a high level of caretaking, and also my work in the world is where I am of service to others as a professional coach. And so for myself, what I need right now is I need a higher level of support. Like I need help because I've been giving a lot lately. So for me, what I naturally think of when I bring someone to mind that I love, I think of my kittens. I think of my kitten Spiritus and my kitten Lilybell. And then I imagine, and this for you, whomever your person is, imagine how you would do anything for them. Like if they were sick, if they were hungry, if they were hurting, whatever it was, be it your child, your puppy, your kitty, your grandson, your granddaughter, your best friend, just imagine how you would do anything for them. Just feeling into that place of how much you want to look after them, feeling into that place in your heart that, of course, wants to give, right? Like we tap into the spirit of our giving nature because this is the reciprocal cycle of giving and receiving. And from that place, imagine what it is that they most need at that time. Like if my kittens were going through a very stressful experience, let's say, what do I imagine they would need? They would need space to feel comforted. So for you, whatever you might be going through, maybe it's a crisis, maybe you're recovering from a heartbreak, maybe you're recovering from an illness, maybe you're moving. Whatever it is for you, imagine that this loved one that you're using in your creative imagination, imagine what they would most need if it was them going through the experience that you're going through. Because this is a way to bypass to bypass the critical mind and actually tune into our creative thinking. And so from that place, attuned to, like, I wonder what my best friend would need. Like, she's moving right now. Like, one of my best friends, she's moving out of the state. She's newly married. There's a lot of things up in her world. So just imagining, like, oh, I wonder what she would need most right now. And from that perspective, thinking of myself of like, oh, I'm really stressed, destabilized in a lot of ways. What would I most need right now? Comfort, ease, nurturing, gentle time. And then this is how we connect with what we need for ourselves. And this opens the door to giving ourselves permission that once we're clear, because a lot of us, we're not really even clear what we need. So once we're clear on what we need, I need nurturing space. Like for me here, I need more nurturing space where I feel nourished. That's what I need. That might be spending more quality time with girlfriends. That may be spending more time with my own therapist and my own coach. That might be spending more time at the spa, just having some gentle, nourishing, feminine pampering time. So the exercise for you here is to imagine somebody that you love. Imagine how you would feel in terms of how much you want to look out for them. Imagine what they may need most if they were going through something really difficult, which may mirror what you're going through right now. Imagine what how you could give that to them, and then that's your cue for what you most need and what your opportunity is to ask for. Because when we ask for it from this place, we're not coming over needy, we're not coming over as a victim, we're not coming over as, oh, rescue me, or I'm too stoked. It's just simply a thing like, hey, girlfriend, can we have tea together? I could really use a sister right now. Or we book that spa appointment, whatever it is. The more clear we are on what we need, the easier it is to ask for help in a clean way, where we're not coming across to others as expecting them to take care of us, expecting them to mind read, being overly dependent, or being overly stoic and not really getting the words out. So I hope this serves you. I would love to hear your comments below. And I also want to share that I'm hosting a really intimate dating workshop in my home in Malibu on December 8th. It's a Sunday, so seating is very limited. So if you are single and dating with the intention of meeting your mate, or you'd like to date with the intention of meeting your mate, then this is for you. If you're a conscious woman, you've done a lot of work on yourselves, but you find that you're just really uncomfortable with knowing how to get men to ask you out. You either feel invisible, or you're resentful because you're feeling like you're overly in your masculine, asking them out, but you really want to understand what are the unconscious signals that maybe you're giving out that are keeping men away. So this is a beautiful afternoon within the company of some really incredible women where we will explore how much power you do have to create a shift in your own field that actually engenders men asking you out. And once I discovered this shift when I was single, oh my gosh, it was incredible. It was like the heavens parted and men just started flooding in, and there came in my Nicholas. So private message me if you'd like more information about that. And for now, I wish you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful courage in asking for help. God bless.